Knowing your limitations. It's always important to keep in mind what you can and can't do. That's kind of been the point of the last few videos I posted, that you need to know what you can do, what you can't do, what you have time for, and, well, to resource manage correctly, because a lot of the time, diminishing returns ends up making it so if you give all you got to one thing over another thing, you might not get as much as if you spread yourself out a bit more, whereas sometimes you spread yourself out a bit too much and you can't really focus on any one thing in particular. But knowing your limitations is an important factor in really everything you do. If you don't know your limitations, then you won't be able to get really anything done. You could overshoot, you could undershoot. If you undershoot, then you end up not doing enough work, or you end up doing far less than you could have otherwise. But if you overshoot, you might end up completely failing and wiping out totally. And that would not be an optimal way of doing things. But with knowing your limitations also comes knowing when to go for something out of your league and when to do something a little extreme and a little bit kind of out there, a little bit not in your field of expertise, and always pushing yourself to do better. I think part of limitations being not really looked at as a good thing a lot of the time is that people look at them as a handicap rather than something that can breed success. Really, limitations in especially creative fields can lead to some of the genius. Limitations in some fields, especially fields of art, can lead to some of the best enhancements to your art or workarounds ever. Some of the best moments in writing come from someone having a limitation set on them and working around it. People figuring out ways to say things and get things across their mind without using parts of their vocabulary, such as sanctioning off all curse words. That is a limitation that can breed success. That's not something you do because you want to be more family friendly or other reasons. You can do it for those reasons, but those aren't really the reasons you should do that for. You should do it to limit yourself so you can think of more creative ways of doing things. An artist only using a certain amount of colors in a color palette, that is a limitation to overcome, but can also lead to some incredible results when inspiration finally strikes and allows you to do something incredible you never thought you would be able to do. YouTube is basically just one big limitation because the resources available aren't the same as in other fields. If I was writing a book, I would have almost no limitations besides the time I put into it. YouTube has factors like skill and money and power and connections. There's so many limitations that you have to work around to be able to do anything effective at all and make a higher quality video. I'm not saying these are high quality videos or anything. I mean, have you seen this? No. However, I feel that as an artist, some of the larger breakthroughs I've had have been through overcoming limitations, especially after those limitations have set me back quite a bit, because that riles me up. That gets me into the point where right now I can go 100% at this thing without having to worrying about, oh, am I going to like fizzle out, because I'm revving to go. I'm revved up. I am ready to go. And on top of that, I have a thing to work around and I know how to work around it. And that can lead to incredible results. But still, knowing your limitations is a positive thing. It's something you need to do. It's something that people should cherish if they have that ability. If you have the ability to read your limitations, don't take that for granted. That is very important, and I would recommend honing that skill greatly. It doesn't just help you in knowing your own limitations, it helps you in so many different things. There are careers that is just vital in, especially like sports team managers or like workout advisors, those sort of people. That is their job, is knowing other people's limitations and being able to push them and have people work around them. Careers are made on that sort of thing, and that it's a great skill to hone, and it can especially help you in your day-to-day life and anything you do, anything you strive to do. Knowing your limitations is incredibly important. You never need to ignore what your limitations are. You never have to say, this is my limitation, so I shouldn't do it. You should keep it in mind, though. At all times, keep in mind, you shouldn't set yourself up for failure, but you should set yourself up for maybe pushing yourself a little bit. Maybe set it yourself up to where you have to come up with a creative solution to solve the problem. I think that is pretty much the best way to go, is to always set yourself up so where your brain or your body or something has to figure out a way to creatively come up with a solution that will get you more than if you went too hard or too little. Just that perfect amount, going 90% all the time, or going 100% all the time, or going 110% sometime. That way you can somehow, some way figure out a way around it. And sometimes you just need a break. Sometimes you need to slow down and not do that so you can strike the next obstacle with greater success. And that is all a part of knowing your limitations.